Just a heads up, be on your toes. They're saying that there was another mass shooter event on the campus of FSU. That's Florida State University. We're going to just take a look at this, just learning about it right now.
Florida State University, a shooter killed 2 people and hurt 6 others at the student union this afternoon. The Leon County Sheriff said the suspected shooter is a 20-year-old student whose mom is a deputy. One of the deputy's guns was used in the shooting.
That's an interesting twist there. Remember, Florida is the state that had the former Attorney General Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi is totally on board with red flag laws, just like DeSantis is. So we're going to see where this goes.
Well, Pete, we just learned more information about the shooter, the alleged shooter in this case. As you mentioned, he is the son of a Leon County deputy. He's been identified as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner. Investigators say that he used his mother's old service weapon in this shooting that left 2 people dead and 6 others injured. He was also injured and taken to Tallahassee Memorial Hospital. At this time, we do not know an exact motive behind what led up to this shooting, but the campus is a virtual lockdown, especially in the areas near the student union where this shooting took place.
So you get to lose all your freedoms during the lockdown. You can't go in, you can't go out. This is of course, a gun-free zone that this took place in, because you are not allowed to defend yourself. You're not allowed to have a personal protection device like the authorities can have.
Investigators have told people to not return to that area to get any personal items that they left behind. Simply wait for them to be able to get those in the coming days until they finally reopen that area as well. Now, students have been urged to stay inside of their on-campus apartment living.
By the way, you're also treated as a suspect while you're in lockdown,
or potentially to stay off campus if they don't need to be here. Of course, the entire community is still trying to rally around each other to figure out exactly what led up to all of this.
Stuart, I guess in one sense it's good timing since it's Easter weekend. A lot of students were probably going to go home for the weekend anyway. But I know you were FSU Seminole. I mean, this kind of stuff just, it hits close to home, doesn't it?
It does, and this is the second time I've had to cover a shooting on the campus where I went to school. Back in 2014, another shooting happened at Landis Green. This time the shooter survived. Hoping to learn more, but of course everybody's trying to rally together to hold up the people who were injured or impacted by this shooting.
Here's another report right here. I want to get more details on this deputy handgun.
I was completely in shock. I didn't think this could happen at Florida State.
I hear more. It was like 5 gunshots in a row, and everybody got up, looked at each other, and just started running.
It was pretty.
What if instead of everybody just getting up and looking at each other, go, hey, let's go ahead and take up positions. Let's go ahead and get our firearms out, get them at the ready, and let's make sure we defend ourselves and our fellow students. Can't do that, though, on the campus, can you? It's a fish in a barrel zone. Remember, a gun-free zone is a criminal empowerment, victim creation, fish in a barrel zone.
You know, you always hear about these things. You never really expect to be in one.
It's a shame. Horrible thing, horrible that things like this take place.
Our breaking news right now at 6 o'clock.
Look at everybody with their hands up. They are treated by law enforcement as potential suspects. You've literally lost all of your rights in that gun-free criminal empowerment zone.
Tragedy at Florida State University in Tallahassee. A deadly mass shooting on campus. At least 2 people are confirmed dead. 6 others injured in the mass shooting. Shots fired into the school's student union about noon today. Shooting sent crowds across campus running for cover. We've learned the 2 people who died in that shooting are not students of the university. Law enforcement confirms the shooting suspect is believed to be a 20-year-old Florida State student named Phoenix Eichner. He is the son of a Leon County Sheriff's deputy. Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Leon County Sheriffs.
We have been following every development in this shooting now for the past 6 hours. We have team coverage tonight as reporter Orig Vid is learning more about the terrifying moments for students on campus. Let's start with our Yasmin Julmus, who joins us live in the studio with the latest on the suspect. Yasmin.
Tiffany Todd, good evening. We've been digging more into the suspect. Officials identified him as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, a student at the university. We believe he's a junior and a political science major. We also learned just a few moments ago that he's the son of a Leon County deputy.
And he's the son of a Leon County Sheriff deputy. Our deputy Eichner, has been with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for over 18 years.
Whoa, that's like a seasoned veteran. Leaving an unsecured weapon for anyone to steal it and go commit a crime with? And what kind of son is that that's going to enter a college campus or any gun-free zone or anywhere and start picking people off? This is super interesting.
He has a tremendous job that she's done Her service to this community has been exceptional. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons.
The sheriff believes Phoenix Eichner used one of his mother's personal weapons in the shooting. They found a handgun and a shotgun at the scene, but it's unclear if the shotgun was used. Officials also said Eichner was heavily involved in the Leon County Sheriff's Office Youth Advisory Council, so he's very familiar with the department. At this time, the campus is now secure, though the Student Union building is still an active crime scene. Law enforcement confirmed that the two people who were shot and killed were not students, but have not confirmed their
just sheep complying with their hands up
identities yet. They also have not specified if the other 6 who were injured are students, faculty, and or staff. As of now, students are able to return to their dorms, but have been asked to stay indoors on the main campus, and all classes have been canceled through Friday. Nearby FAMU has also canceled classes for today. Tomorrow, there will be a vigil held on FSU's campus at 5 p.m. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis just posted on social media just moments ago saying, quote, "This killer must and will be brought to justice to the fullest extent of the law." The governor also taking a moment to thank the first responders for stopping the shooter and saving lives. In studio, Yasmin Julmis, WPBF 25 News.
How did they stop the shooter?
Yasmin, thank you. And we continue our team coverage tonight as we're hearing from students who were on campus during the shooting. Reporter Ari Height joining us now. And Ari, these students are describing panic and fear as they started to piece together what was happening.
Yeah, panic, fear, terror. Those are some of the words that I've been hearing as I've been talking to students, and not just the students who are in or around the student union. Of course, they were terrified, running or hiding, just trying to get away, trying to stay safe, but also for the students who weren't around the student union, ones on other parts of the campus who are just hearing bits and pieces of the details, not knowing what was happening, not knowing where the shooter might go next.
15 seconds before the actual shooting happened, a bunch of kids started running around screaming, and we're just like, oh, what's going on? And then probably maybe 10 gunshots happened, and everyone's like, oh my God. People were going everywhere. Someone up like a maintenance elevator, someone up some staircases. We just kind of went in a corner and hid behind some trash cans, made a little fort out of plywood. And then I'd say about 5-10 minutes later, cops came in, everyone had their hands up, they all checked us, and now we're here just wait and see what happens next.
I just hear gunshots, and I was like, oh, that's weird, but I didn't realize like how close they were. And I hear more, it was like 5 gunshots in a row, and everybody got up, looked at each other, and just started running.
I just tried to remain calm the entire time. It was kind of surreal what was happening. I didn't really think I'd ever be in a situation like this. You know, you always see this kind of stuff on the news, and you'd be like, how are things like this continue to be allowed and continue to happen? But I never thought I'd be in a classroom.
Nobody's allowing this to happen. It's like, imagine if they interviewed a guy. Well, Bob, let me tell you, this is where firearms training pays off. I'm glad I was packing heat, because I'll tell you what, as soon as I heard those gunshots, me and my buddies took up a position with our backs against the wall, and we just waited for that gunman to come by. Because, man, we ain't going to cower. We're not tucking tail and running. We're going to engage the threat and make sure we save as many lives as possible. They'll never interview somebody like that.
Florida state officials have already announced they will be offering counseling to anybody who needs it, whether that be students or staff. And like Yasmin mentioned a short time ago, there's also a vigil planned on the campus at 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Reporting live, Ari Height, WPBF 25 News.
Ari, thank you. And of course, this news hitting hard for families and survivors of the mass school shooting in Parkland.
Valentine's Day 2018, Josh Gallagher was a junior at Stoneman Douglas High School during that shooting. He is now a student at Florida State University and posted on social media, quote, take a look. After living through the MSD shooting in 2018, I never thought it would hit close to home again. Then I'm in the FSU Law Library and hear an alarm, active shooter on campus. No matter your politics, we need to meet. Something has to change. Prayers to the victims and families. And Fred Guttenberg, whose daughter Jamie was killed.
Here's one thing that has to change. Take away gun-free criminal empowerment fish in a barrel zones. Take them away. That's where they all happen. 95% of all mass shootings happen in gun-free zones. What's Fred got to say?
In the Parkland school shooting says, again, some of her classmates do attend Florida State University. He took to social media as well, saying, quote, as a father, all I ever wanted after the Parkland shooting was to help our children be safe. Sadly, because of the many people who refuse to do the right things about reducing gun violence, I'm not surprised by what happened.
Who refuse to do the right things about gun violence. It's not an inanimate object, Fred. Yet after all these years, it's Fred who's still trying to eliminate the inanimate object that doesn't pull itself off of its own shelf and start pulling its own trigger.
Today, again, that's a quote from Fred Guttenberg.
This is not the first tragedy that's happened at FSU. You may recall back in November of 2014, a gunman shot an employee and 2 students inside the library just after midnight. Police then opened fire and killed him. 1 person was left paralyzed from the waist down. All 3 victims survived.
Well, leave your thoughts about this for the World and Global Thought Police in the comment section below. What do you think they're going to do about this? I mean, what extra rules and regulations? How can you get more gun-free than a gun-free zone? And I'm wondering what's going to happen with this deputy who's leaving, you know, whether it's their service weapon or just a private weapon around for their kid to get it and then uses it to commit an atrocity. I wonder what's going to happen to that deputy, because you know what would happen. I wonder if they're going to be able to hide behind qualified immunity, or will they be treated like the rest of the public? We've seen what has happened to parents in the past whose kid has grabbed their own weapon, the parent's weapon, and committed crimes with it. So we'll see if the same thing sticks with the sheriff's deputy out there in Florida. Leave your thoughts about this in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.